As you can probably tell by the thumbnail and the introduction to this video, I was in Boston this past weekend, and there I went to the Brattle Bookshop and I met Steve Donahue, the famous booktube diva, and I can assure you the rumors are true. Steve is in fact a diva, and he does smell. And that's why nobody likes him on BookTube, and that's why nobody tags him in anything. Jokes aside, this was my third trip to the Brattle ever, but my first time meeting Steve, and it was really nice to hang out with him and shop at one of the greatest bookstores in America. I haven't been to them all, so I don't know if it is the greatest, but I can also assure you that the praise that Steve gives to the Brattle Bookshop is well warranted. It's an amazing shop, and I got so many books. I literally filled an entire suitcase. I brought basically an empty suitcase for the train, and I filled it to the brim with books. So I didn't have to do any shipping or anything like that. It was I planned ahead. I knew it was going to be good, and I got so many books. So of course we're going to do a book haul now. I'm just cutting in the middle. I forgot to say this earlier. The Brattle Bookshop has an outdoor sale lot that there's just books and carts and books on the wall outdoors. And if the weather is okay, it's open. This is my first time at the sale lot. The day was a little windy, but overall nice weather. So we were able to shop outside, and the books are divided into $1, $3, and $5 sections. And there's a massive supply of great books there. It's not just junk outside in the sale lot and then good stuff inside. It is really good stuff in both sections. It's just, I think they have so much supply at the Brattle, they have to move things through. And Steve's always talking about the sale lot, and it delivered in a big way. Most of the books that I picked up are from the sale lot. I think they were all $5 a piece, the ones that I got from the sale lot. But such great value. I could have gotten 1,000 books from that sale lot, I think, that I was interested in. Yeah, alright, cut back to the main message. And where do I begin? Like, reaching to the top of the pile is at like the apex of my wingspan. But actually, the first book is not from the Brattle. I first went with the friend I was staying with. We went to Brookline Booksmith in Brookline, Massachusetts, which is just west of Boston. And there I knew the next day we were going to do a heavy-duty haul at the Brattle, so I probably wasn't going to get anything. I was just looking, and I found one book. It's Tudor England by S.T. Bindoff, part of the Pelican History of England, Pelican being an older nonfiction subsidiary of Penguin. So from 1485 to 1603, it covers the Tudor monarchs of England, as well as social, economic history as well, maybe. I'm not so sure. But I don't have many Tudor books, so it's nice to have a little overview of the time period. So, that little mass market paperback, not from the Brattle. Alright. I think I have these lined up kind of in size order, it's like smallest to largest, but you'll immediately see that's not true. It might be in height order. But first, Brattle Haul starts now. First we have Penguin Classics, an older edition, Medieval English Verse. Here we go. Medieval English Verse. As you can see by the little header, this is not a new Penguin Classic. It's when is it from? 1964 this is from, but it's in really good shape. I'm not, like, opening the spine, I'm not worried about it getting destroyed after one reading. as a lot of mass market paperbacks feel like. But this book is a collection of Middle English poems, medieval Middle English. Well, the medieval time period spans about 1,000 years. Middle English, this is the 13th and 14th century. I believe it's modern verse translations of 13th and 14th century poems. I had some problems previously, as you might know, with Neville Coggle's translation of the Canterbury Tales, which is also a Middle English poem. So I'm not super hyped up to get to this one, but of course it is a type of literature that I would like to like. So this is great to have. Have some nice artwork on the front too. So, first book of the Brattle Haul. Second book, we have a newer Penguin classic, that is The First Poems in English. Yeah, the First Poems in English. And this is different than the prior entry in that these are Old English poems. Old English, think Beowulf. Old English is something that a person today, a modern English reader, cannot read. You need to learn Old English. Middle English you can get by sounding things out. It's similar. Of course, there are a lot of words that we might not know, but you can use context clues. For Old English, not so much. There's a lot of foundational English poems. It does take some passages from Beowulf, but there's also the Dream of the Rood, the Battle of Brunanburg, the Exeter Riddles, and some other semi-famous works from mostly Anglo-Saxon England. But I'm actually more excited for Old English poems than I am for Middle English poems, so if I had to choose one, I would choose to start with this one. And it's a little shorter, it's only 130 pages. So yeah, the first poem's in English. And I promise the English history is not a theme here. It's not a big theme. Okay, the last Black Spine Penguin classic, we have Evgeny Zamyatin with a we. Sorry, we. This, if you haven't heard of it, it is one of the original dystopian novels. It's said to have inspired George Orwell. Zamyatin was Russian, and he wrote this book in 1920 and 1921, but it wasn't published in Russia until 1988 due to political concerns. But it escaped Russia and was published in other languages. Now, I don't know anything really about the story, but I'm a huge fan of dystopian literature of the 20th century, so I'd like to kick you back to one of the titles that started it all, so to say. Didn't start it all, but initiated some of the great discourse of literature against 20th century totalitarianism and things of that nature. So this is maybe the new title that new to me title that I'm most excited to get to. I know when we had lunch with Steve after the Brattle, and he asked me which book out of this haul I was most excited to get to. I did say another book when I was talking to him, but I forgot that I had picked up We. So this would be my answer. Yeah. All right, those are the penguins. Next, is this a penguin? That's not a penguin. Okay, the penguins are done. Next up, we have Don Quixote. This is the Edith Grossman translation. Edith Grossman with the the cool red cover, helmet. And there's an introduction by Harold Bloom. Now, Don Quixote, one of my favorite classic novels. I've read the John Rutherford Penguin Classics translation. I thought it was great, so funny. Don Quixote and Sancho Panza are such fun characters to follow. It really sucks how they keep getting tricked by that evil wizard, but a really great novel nonetheless. And I have heard nothing but good things about the Edith Grossman translation, and I have known nothing but good things from Edith Grossman in her translations of Gabriel Garcia Marquez, who I really like as well. Grossman, I've read her translations of Love and Other Demons and Memories of My Melancholy Horrors by Marquez. And I thought those were both phenomenal. So I'm really excited for Edith Grossman. I may reread this soon. I know I have a lot of other things to get to, but Don is calling my name. So, Don Quixote. Alright, next up, another huge book. We have, this is a Penguin Classics Deluxe. I lied, we have more Penguin. We have The Sagas of the Icelanders. A huge book by Penguin, with a preface by Jane Smiley. The front is blurbed by Seamus Heaney, great translator and poet from Ireland. But this is a huge collection of Icelandic sagas. I don't know many of these. I've heard of Eagle's Saga and the Vinland Sagas, but there's 6 or 7 more at least. These are, and a lot of tales as well, with different translators. They're not all the same translator. But I mentioned in my Quarter 2 Historathon video that I was interested in reading a Viking saga, Scandinavian saga. I didn't narrow it down to Iceland or Norway or any specific region. But I have the prose edda of Snorri Sturluson. But this gives me a lot of versatility if I want to just pick out a saga and read it. And I've seen this book on other people's shelves before, and it's like, I have to get this if I ever see it. And it's something I would have bought new too if I had seen it. Just an absolute unit of a book. But yeah, I was really happy to find this one. I've been looking for it. Okay, those are all the paperbacks. We did 6 paperbacks so far. Next up, this is a book I already own, but I don't own this edition. So when I saw it, I jumped at it. Another huge book. We have Michel de Montaigne, The Complete Works. Now this is not just the essays. This is the essays, the travel journal, and letters of Montaigne, famous French figure from the 16th century. And I didn't see this until I was checking out, but someone left a newspaper clipping of an engraving of Montaigne, which is cool. But I own, this is the Donald Frame translation. This is Every Man's Library. I own a paperback from Stanford Press that is also the Donald Frame translation, but it's only the essays. So to pick up this awesome, super sturdy hardcover, still translated by Frame, but it has the complete works instead of just the essays. Very cool, very cool. I was overjoyed to find this, and it was the most expensive purchase from the haul, but well worth it in my opinion. I would have paid more for what I paid. All right. Next up, we have a little 2-parter. You got it's not a 2-volume set. I've learned in researching this is an 12-volume set. But I found the first 2, which was really cool. We have the Letters and Journals of Lord Byron. Yeah. In My Hot Youth, and Famous in My Time. So the hardcovers are edited by Leslie A. Marchand, who also did a biography of Lord Byron and edited a lot of his letters and poems and did publications, kind of like a Byron scholar. And Lord Byron, George Gordon, was from the Romantic movement of poetry from England. He did the long poems Don Juan and Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, along with a number of other famous poems, none of which I have read, but I'm quite fascinated by letter collections and journals. I'm not a letter writer per se. I've written a few, but I do journal, so I'm interested to see like the art of journaling, the art of inner writing from famous people, but also it's a very revealing part of the life and times of famous artists. So it's really great to find at least the first two volumes. We have In My Hot Youth was 1798 to 1810, and Famous in My Time is 1810 to 1812. So I'll read these at some point and see if I want to get the other 9 or 10 volumes. But for now, got the first two. Really cool. Lord Byron, Letters and Journals. Okay, what do we have next? Ooh, this is an interesting one. We have Past Masters. A little glossy cover. Some essays on American historians, edited by Marcus Cunliffe and Robin Minks. Winks? Robin W. Winks. So this is an older book. When is it? From 1969, and it has 13 essays. 13? Sorry, I can't turn the page. Yeah, 13 essays by various different scholars on famous historians. And I'm interested by the study of historiography. I have another book that I haven't read called Making History by Richard Cohen. It's also about historians. But I picked this up because I recognize some of the historians that have essays written about them. And these are long essays, they're like 30, 40 pages each. And there's essays on Francis Parkman, Henry Adams, Daniel Borston, Arthur Schlesinger. I don't recognize the others, but I think this could be a really neat read, especially in conjunction with the other one. As a history reader, I feel like it's important not only to understand the content of the books, but also not only the authors, but how history should or can be written, and how it actually is written by various different people. So, Past Masters, little anthology of essays. Okay, another neat find. I found a little smaller hardcover of Homage to Daniel Shays, collected essays by Gore Vidal. And if you know a little bit about Gore Vidal, you might know he has a huge, mega gargantuan book of collected essays called United States. And that collection is from United States is from 1952 to 1992 that it collects. Homage to Daniel Shays is an earlier version of collected essays, which collects essays from 1952 to 1972. And I was in the Brattle with Steve, and I asked him, like, I have United States, and I think this covers like the entire time period. Like, is it worth getting this book too? And he said absolutely, so I got it. But I have yet to read any criticism by Gore Vidal, literary criticism or any essays. But he is referenced by a lot of other literary figures that I have read about the mid to late 20th century. And he seems like a really entertaining writer, scathing and outspoken and flamboyant at times in his writing. So I just want to collect Gore Vidal essays. I really enjoy essay collections in general, especially literary minded or just about the arts. So yeah, Gore Vidal, homage to Daniel Shays. Okay, the next two books are related. We have another 20th century literary figure. This is Edmund Wilson. Edmund Wilson. This is a biography of Edmund Wilson by Jeffrey Myers. And then I have Edmund Wilson, Letters on Literature and Politics, 1912 to 1972. There he is. But Edmund Wilson was, I think in his time, an incredibly famous man of letters, literary critic, all-around essayist. And he's another figure of, like, I know a ton of book critics admire Edmund Wilson's writing style or his inventiveness, or I'm not sure exactly, but I know he is admired. So as somebody who likes to read about critics and their thoughts on literature and politics, these two books seemed really interesting. To read about the dying breed, the dead breed of men of letters, people who were famous for correspondence and deadline prose. Now it's an outdated art. Nobody writes letters, nobody's famous for letters, no letters are being collected by anyone. So these books are bygones of the past. But here, the Brattle has them, so now I can read them. But yeah, two books on Edmund Wilson. This joins my Edmund Wilson collection. I actually have the letter collection of his letters between himself and Vladimir Nabokov, in which Nabokov calls Edmund Wilson Bunny, which I think was his nickname. Yep, okay, that was two books 11 and 12. Now, here we have a nice little, actually it's kind of beat up, but this is Henry David Thoreau, A Life of the Mind, by Robert D. Richardson, Jr. And I recognize this author because he was he married Annie Dillard, and a Pulitzer Prize winning author herself. And that was Annie Dillard's last husband before Richardson died. Dillard's still alive. But this is one of the many biographies on Henry David Thoreau, the famous American transcendentalist, philosopher, and theorist and naturalist. So I like reading about Thoreau. I haven't actually read Thoreau yet. So many things to get to, I know. But this is not the biography that I have been recommended a few times. I know that's by somebody called maybe Wallace, their last name, Wallace. I can't remember the name of that biography, but I am perfectly happy to collect multiple volumes of Thoreau. I know I will like, if not his writings themselves, which I assume I will like them, but if I don't like his writings, I know I'll like biographies about him. I've read a mini biography of him already, so I know this is going to be easy pickings for me to like it. So, biography of Thoreau. The nice cover to save it from any further damage. And finally, the last book. This is another behemoth. Only 700 pages, but it is heavy. This we have Bernard Shaw, The Diaries, Volume 1. Here we go. Here we go. And Bernard Shaw refers to George Bernard Shaw, the famous Irish playwright from the late 19th century, early 20th century. And these are his diaries from 1885 to 1897. He was, as far as I know, he wasn't famous at the beginning of this. So these diaries may chronicle Bernard Shaw's rise to fame. This collection is edited and annotated by Stanley Weintraub. Now, I am not so much interested in Bernard Shaw for his plays. I have read St. Joan, which I enjoyed. I'm more so interested in Bernard Shaw for his station as a man of letters and as a critic and as a man all about London, one of the most famous men of his day, who was constantly writing, and I believe his opinion was well regarded. If it wasn't, please correct me, but I know he was famous, and he was always talking or writing about something in the paper. But these are his diaries. It looks like there's a lot of just personal notes, which makes sense, like what train he took or stuff like that, but that's a diary. I'm not sure if he meant this for publication, especially in his early days when he wasn't famous. So maybe this can cast, or I know it will cast a large light on the figure of Bernard Shaw, who I don't really know much about. I've got the 1-volume abridged version of his biography by Michael Holroyd, which I believe is 3 volumes in total. But I would like to read that too at some point. So in that period, Bernard Shaw and Oscar Wilde from the British Isles interest me the most, at least right now. So the thing is, there's so many things I'm interested in that I can't get to it all right now. I have to pick and choose, and I'm just glad to have this. I'm saving it from the Brattle dumpster. We have Bernard Shaw, The Diaries, Volume 1. Here's the man himself. There we go. Yeah. So there you have it. That is 15 books, 14 from the Brattle. All in all, a very good deal for what I paid for. I had a great time shopping the store with Steve and the buddy I was visiting, and we had a fun time at lunch as well after. So, yep, the Brattle Bookshop and the sale lot are awesome, totally worth it, and yeah, that's it. Steve told me I would never make another BookTube video again because apparently he drives everybody off the platform. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, this video will publish and I can prove him wrong. But if such an accident should befall me that I cannot publish this, I hope whoever finds this camera will go to Boston and arrest Steve Donahue. Just kidding. But yeah, thanks for watching. That's my Brattle Bookshop haul. Let me know about any of these books I don't know much about them. So if one of them's like a real stinker that I shouldn't have picked up, do let me know. But I'm pretty excited about all of these. So yeah, that's that's it. See you later.